1st, 2024. I'm so excited. I love the spring. We're not yet to spring. Today's been a cool, breezy day, but the fresh air feels wonderful. There are spring blossoms everywhere where I live. I do have allergies, so I have to be careful, but it's been a long winter. Lots of rain, torrential rains and floods in the state of California. I sewed up a storm, no pun intended, but I didn't post or do videos, but I will try to catch up and show you. I've got some garments that I want to finish, and anyway, today I am going to give you some ideas for some very, I believe, pretty easy, beginner-friendly spring blouses that have flounces or frills, a little more on the feminine side, kind of romantic, but also using elements from vintage finds. I guess upcycling in a way. So I hope you will stick around, and I'll meet you here back in the sewing room. First of all, what I'm wearing, this is a free pattern from Mood Fabrics. It is the Caraway blouse, and I have made it and talked about it before in, I believe it was like a blue linen, and I also did it in a printed rayon chalet. So more details, I'll link the videos where I talk about them specifically in the description box. But yeah, this has just got some spring leaves on it. It's like a cotton poplin. So definitely the puffy sleeves have more oomph because this is a stiffer fabric. And then it's got a beautiful neckline and it gathers. I just tied a silk scarf around. It's got an elasticized waistband and then a little poplin flounce. So, but yeah, I just wanted to share what I'm wearing. Super comfortable. Anyway, so what started this journey with the simple, like a pullover blouse for this spring and challenging myself was actually from a ready-made garment. Okay, as I was saying, this is just a ready-to-wear, very simple summer or spring top that is made from a textured Georgette fabric. It's got a wider scoop neck, drop sleeves, and just a flounce at the end, and then a simple narrow hem. The ease is pretty large, so it's just, there's no darts or anything like that. This is actually a small, but it's very ample, so it's flowy. You can wear a tank underneath it, and there's lots of different ways in which you can make this and embellish it. Different fabrications will change the whole way it looks and flows. So this basically was the impetus for the sewing garments that I'm making for the spring and summer, and it's basically it was self-drafted. So you just pretty much lay out, there's lots of videos on how to copy ready-to-wear garments. This one's easy because you're basically folding it in half and you're tracing. And I used a simple line grid paper that looks like this that you can buy by the yard in your fabric store. It's just a gridded paper, but there's lots of different things that you can use. There's just like some tracing paper. Some people use medical paper that you can buy by the roll. But yeah, basically just tracing the front and back piece, then a flounce sleeve. So just kind of working from there, and then I also did my own, I wanted to have some neck facings, so just measuring out and kind of adjusting accordingly for a back and front facing. And also you can change the neckline. So when I did cut a V for one of them, which you'll see behind me in dress form here, but I also have a blouse, I saved that piece so I would have that to use to measure in the future, if that makes sense, just to use that kind of as a template for where I cut the V shape in front. blouse number 1 is the exact same fabric. It's that textured kind of Georgette that has a slight give. And this is pretty bold for me. I usually wear solids or tiny, like a tiny print or something like that, and then accentuate like with a scarf or something. But I got this in Berkeley, Stone Mountain Daughter. I've had it in my stash for a long time. And I thought, you know what, this I can live with. I can live with this because then I can pair it with a solid bottom. And it's fun and it's pretty and I like it a lot, so I'm going for it. So I have already done the neck facing and it's sewn. I'm doing French seams instead of just having a serged edge, and then I'm pretty much replicating the blouse to a T with the same flutter / flounce sleeves and then a narrow hem, and this one will be finished. So this is just a work in progress. It won't take me long, but that is number 1. Also forgot to mention that for that fabric I used a Microtex needle just because it is finer and a little slippier, and a light stretch stitch because it has some stretch. The second blouse from that same top is from linen, of course, and I had a little bit of this beautiful blush pink linen, barely enough to squeeze out a blouse. I think I had barely a yard of it, and so hence I had to add some contrast because I ran out of the fabric. So I was able to divide that flounce. I just basically took that template pattern draft and then I recut another. I kind of divided it in half so that I would know how much to cut. And then I added the sweet ribbon. And again, I was sewing these in February, so I think the pinks and the hearts and the whole, I was inspired by all of that. Incorporated the ribbon, this 1/4 inch ribbon, to kind of tie the two together. Kind of reminds me of a strawberry parfait or something. Anyway, but I changed the neckline from a wider scoop to a V-neck and used a vintage crocheted linen napkin, half of it, for the neckline. And I just need to finish constructing this sleeve. And again, I'm taking my time on this because this is very delicate. I interfaced the facings with light interfacing just to give it a little bit of structure. And I also did some stay stitching so nothing would kind of stretch out of shape. And then there'll be French seam finishes. And yeah, this won't take me too long, but I stopped and moved on to the other one before. Now, another thing too that I can do with this is I can leave this as is or add something. So that's what I want to show you on garment number 3. For purposes of time, I divided the segment into part 2, so it's Friday Sews episode 36, part 2, which aired on Friday, March 8th, 2024. I go into greater detail of the process in making this vintage-inspired dress, and I also share 7 dress pattern suggestions of how you could replicate a similar style. So I'll help you go stop by and check out that video as well. Okay, for number 4, we're switching from the self-drafted and some pattern ideas that I'll give you to an established pattern that has been tried and true. It's an independent pattern company. It's Merchant & Mills. I've talked about this before. I'll link my specific videos below in the description box if you're interested. But this is the camber set because it includes a dress and a top. So we're talking about tops. What is great about this one is it does not involve zippers, and the darts are really simple. The French style darts are actually fun to sew, and it has a bias neckline, and it's just a great pattern to hack. So let me show you idea number 4. This is my newest make, and I just finished it yesterday, so I can't wait to wear it. It's also a linen, and here it is. So it's a beautiful lightweight, almost a handkerchief linen. And again, I've had this in my stash, and honestly, I don't even remember where I got it, but it's kind of the rainwater color. It's so pretty and light and feminine. And so what I did with this is the sleeve length is the same. The neckline is the same, but I added some lace, as you can see, to the sleeve edges and below the bias neckline. I ran out of fabric, so I did the back self-facing in a white linen, which is fine. And then I added the flounce hem. You would need to do for this is determine like where you wanted this blouse to hit you, and then, you know, shorten or lengthen accordingly. So maybe you want your flounce to be a little bit shorter, a little bit longer. So I just kind of tweaked it based on how I wanted it, where I wanted it to fit. I wanted it a little bit longer in the front. It actually is a little bit shorter in the back, and then it kind of has this cute little, a slight scallop up the hem here, if that makes sense. But you might want to have it longer in the back, shorter in the front. Again, maybe a shortened flounce. But yeah, so this was pretty fun to construct and design, and I love it. Again, I did French seam finishes on the inside, especially for this one, because this frayed like crazy. I was like losing threads, so as I was just manipulating and using sewing the fabric. So, but yeah, I really like this, and I just took notes. So when you're hacking, just make sure you take notes so you can reference them the next time. I took notes on how long the flounce was in length, and width, and where I shortened it. I think I even drew some marks on my pattern, so I would have that reference for next time. Blouse number 5. This one I had made a summer ago, I believe, and I did definitely have a video on this one. I originally had, let me see, I actually had elongated the sleeves, and then I had put crocheted lace on the end, but I didn't like where it hit me on the elbow, and I think I talk about that in a video. It just felt weird. It was just like the movement, it just wasn't natural. I didn't like the way it looked. So I went back and I said, okay, what is it going to take for me to wear this? Let's add flounce sleeves. So again, I just kind of measured, draped it where I thought it would be flouncy. I think I also looked at some of my other garments that I had sewn as reference points for how large the flounce template should be, and then took it from there and just attached it, and it turned out really cool because there's actually a little bit of peek through from the crocheted lace, so like the skin. So I may have even added a little bit of length to this one as well. I think I might have added a little bit of length. I'd have to look at my notes. But yeah, so this again, it's that same top, and it's just an elongation of the arm, added embellishment with the lace. I don't think this is vintage crocheted lace, and then a flounce sleeve, and it's just over the head, simple, light, airy. This is more of a medium weight cotton, or actually I think this is 100% linen. I'm pretty sure it is. I ironed it and it does get wrinkled, but it washed up beautifully, and I cannot wait to wear this one again. And last but not least, number 6 is the same top, that camber top, and or camber. But on this one, I added a little bit of just some, let me see, machine embroidery. That's what I'm trying to say, like a machine embroidery design. I may have elongated the sleeve just the tiniest bit. I think this is the most accurate in sleeve length. And then it was a dress, and what happened, and I know I have a video on this one, is when I was finishing, I nipped the back on accident right in the back. I mean, there's no way to hide it. And I darned it, and I thought it looked, I just felt so self-conscious in it. And then I had added some pockets and put some applique on it. And I wore it a couple of times, and I decided, this is ridiculous. This is beautiful fabric. It's a linen blend, and there's a little bit of stretch in it. And I actually love this for hiking. It's really nice, but I'll wear it like an overlayer. I know that it has good breathability, and it's a good, I've got a lot of it's a good army green, and I'm not too worried about it getting dirty because it's washed up really beautifully. So what I ended up doing is cutting that bottom piece and using the bottom section. This is almost like a block hem, but I call it a little bit of a flounce. I ironed it out, but it does have some gathers, so technically it is kind of like a flounce hem to give it a little bit of flow and some visual interest. So yeah, and again, easy breezy for spring. This will be really cute. It's green, it's March, perfect. So yeah. The first spring blouse pattern suggestion is, of course, one of my faves, the camber top by Merchant and Mills. The description is a simple dress or top, tapered A-line silhouette, short fitted sleeves, easy wear and classic. Sewing level, beginner, friendly, sizes UK 8 through 28. And of course you saw the examples of how easy it is to hack and make it your own. Blouse pattern suggestion number 2, Harmony Woven Top by Style Arc Patterns. It is available in both PDF and printed format. It is described as double flounce sleeved with a loose fitting silhouette. There are bust darts, a button loop back, fabric suggestions, silk, crepe, rayon. I think linen would work great as well. Sewing rating is easy to medium. And the sizes are Australian, range 4 through 30. Blouse pattern number 3, also by Style Arc Patterns, is the Selena woven top, which is also available in PDF and printed format. It is described as an A-line top, sits at the hip with hem frills, sleeve frills, a face neckline, and the gathers fall from below the back yoke. And it has a slight high-low hem. Fabric suggestions, rayon, crepe, silk, and linen. Sewing rating, easy to medium, and Australian sizes 4 through 30. My pattern pick for blouse number 4 is a Buttrick pattern 6685. It is PDF and printed form. It is a pullover top with drop shoulders, with neckline and sleeve variations. There are side slits and a curved hem. And this top or blouse can be worn with or without the sash. Sewing rating, fast and easy. US sizes extra small through XXL. Another suggestion is another Buttrick pattern. This is number 6455, also available in PDF and printed format. It is described as loose fitting pullover top with elastic at the neckline. There are multiple length and sleeve variations. I counted 4. And view A most replicates my self-drafted design. Sewing rating, fast and easy, and size ranges are US 4 through 26. The sixth blouse pattern is McCall's 7721. It's available online in PDF format. It is out of print, but I've seen hard print copies on Etsy. It is a loose fitting top with a neckband, drop shoulders, and several sleeve variations. All of those great drapey flounces. This is for moderate stretch knits, so those of you that love to use knits, this would be great. It is beginner friendly, and there are multiple size ranges included in one pattern. And the seventh blouse suggestion, you can't forget Mood Society's free pattern, which is the Caraway blouse, which I've described in the beginning of the video in what I'm wearing. And this would be eligible for Sew Frugal 2024 because the pattern is free. That is it for today. And next week, I hope to be back. I promise. Maybe I shouldn't promise, but next week I want to talk about some blouse patterns that involve some big flouncy collars. So, and I've got one sewn up. I just have a couple of things left to do on that. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And that is going to be it. So thanks so much for watching. Happy March, and I will see you next time in the sewing room. Bye.